Ois Gimel. In Ois Gimel, the Rebbe will explain. We had just said that the Geula of the future will be in a much higher Madrege. The Rebbe explained from the Kabbalah how the Geula HaSida is in the level of the Atik, Pnimius Atik, and the level of Yetzias Mitzrayim is as the Nun Sharibina come down through Malchus. So the question is, so why are we mentioning Yetzias Mitzrayim? And why do we say like the days of Mitzrayim if it was a much lower Madrega? So why even mention Yetzias Mitzrayim since the Geula HaSida will be in a higher Madrega? And the Rebbe brings out the idea that it all started. What gave the koyach, what gave the power for all the future redemption was also Yetzias Mitzrayim. Let's look inside Gimel. Based on this that we said now, the greatness of the Geula, of Asidah, of the future redemption, we need to understand Mashakosu, what the Pasuk says, Kimei Tzeitzcha Meretz Mitzrayim Areinu Nifloes, as the days you went out of Mitzrayim. I will show you miracles. And we also say that it also means that there's a similarity, just like those days were miracle, there will also be miracles in the future. Madua medame hakosu hanifloes the geula ha'asido. Why does the Torah compare the wonders of the future redemption lahanifloes shahoyu be made seischa meretz Mitzrayim to the wonders that took place on the days that you went out of Mitzrayim? Since the wonders, the nifloes of Geula Asida will be much greater, so why does the Torah say just like those days he will show you miracles again? Well, B'yoy said Einem move on, and more it's not understood. Lefi Hadeya, according to the opinion, Shemaskir in Yitzias Mitzrayim Gamli Moisa Mashiach. That opinion says that we learn out from the pasuk Kol Yimei Chayecha, that also in Yimois HaMashiach we will mention Luman Tizkoides Yom Tzeitzcha Meretz Mitzrayim also in Yimois HaMashiach. The L'chayre would seem Mekivon Shagiluyim the L'osid Lova Yiyu Nailim Harbe Yosef, since the Giluyim of the future will be a lot greater than the revelations that took place when they went out of Egypt. So why would they mention the exodus of Egypt also in the future? Why would they mention the exodus of Egypt if that the miracles that will take place, the niflois that will take place, la'osid will be much greater? What's the point in mentioning the exodus of Egypt? The explanation is, even though that they may be greater, but the beginning, it all started, the koyach for all the geulas comes from Yetzias Mitzrayim. וידוע הביר בזה כמשקוסו בדיבר המסחיל כימי צאתך לכבד קידושס מריחה מאדמור to the Friedrich Rebbe in the Maimer the begeulas Mitzrayim nischadesh klolus inyan hagula, that the redemption of Mitzrayim, that made up this new general theme idea of redemption. The whole idea of redemption came up. The Niftach Hatziner, and the pipeline opened up. That was the opening Al kol ha'geulas, for all the redemptions, mehagolius shel golus Mitzrayim, all the redemption of the exiles that follow the golus Mitzrayim, gam al geula ha'asida, also on the future redemption. It all started, it opened up all b'tzias Mitzrayim. Hagam sheti geula na'litziyasa, even though the redemption is going to be a higher level, loss in love, but it started with what? With Yitzias Mitzrayim. So this would be similar, that even though the level that comes later on is greater, but the fact that this is the beginning, that puts it on a very important place, that everything else was able to take place, the greatness only based on the beginning. So that means that the beginning is the reason for the greatness of the Geula HaSida, that the reason we have the Giluyim of the Geula HaSida is because it started with Yitzias Mitzrayim. So that means that Yitzias Mitzrayim has that special idea that it is the beginning. And this is similar, similar to what we know, that Yitzias Mitzrayim prepared, was the preparation for Matan Torah. Like the Pasuk says, the Pasuk Abraham says to Moshe that when you take the people out of Mitzrayim, you will serve Hashem on this mountain, on Har Sinai. So we see that after going out, when you go out of Mitzrayim, that will bring about Tavdonus Elikim. Dagam sheikir inyan hagu'ula v'achedus hoya b'shas matan Torah davke. So although the main redemption and freedom took place when the Torah was given, k'imei, why do we say the geula and chedus was by matan Torah? Yeah, matan Torah, we got the Torah, but we were saying that was the geula v'chedus because we know that at matan Torah, the decree of the Elyonim and the Tachtonim, that the Elyonim should not go down, the Tachtonim should not go up, that was in this battle. That's why he says, Vayered Hashem al Har Sinai vel Moshe Amar Alei, which means the real redemption and freedom came with the Bittul HaGezerah. So that took place by Matan Torah. So he says like this, K'imei kivan shelifnei Matan Torah hoysa adayin HaGezerah. Since before Matan Torah, there was still the decree, the Elyonim lo yerdu l'tachtonim. The upper should not go down to the lower, and tachtonim lo yalu l'Elyonim, and the lower should not go up to the upper, to the top. So it was not really freedom then, because there was limitation, there was restrictions, there was the places, there were boundaries, and how they move on. And since there were boundaries till Matan Torah, Matan Torah, Gam la'achri Yitzias Mitzrayim. So we know that after Matan Torah, even after they left Egypt, after going out of Mitzrayim, lo hoyso adayin amitas haguulo v'achedus d'tachtonim. There was not yet the true redemption and freedom of the Tachtonim. They can't go up. They're still limited. There is limitations, not real freedom. So when does the real freedom take place? It takes place when we have Matan Torah. And yet we attribute to the Geulos Mitzrayim, Ba'afal became, and still, Be'ez HaGeulo di Yitzias Mitzrayim, at the time of the redemption of Yitzias Mitzrayim, when they went out of Egypt, Nitan HaKoyach Gam al HaGeulo. That gave the power also of the redemption, the nullification of the decree that takes place in Matan Torah. So we see a similar situation that the real Geula takes place by Matan Torah. Because before Matan Torah, when there's still a decree, it's not really Geula, there's still restrictions and limitations. But yet, we say, when was the power given for that? When Yitzias Mitzrayim. So the same thing is also, just like Yitzias Mitzrayim gave the koyach for Matan Torah, Yitzias Mitzrayim also gave the koyach for the future redemption. So a similar way, it is also with regards to the future redemption. Shagula the Yitzias Mitzrayim, Shabahagula the Yitzias Mitzrayim, that during the redemption of Egypt, Nitan HaKoyach Kam Al Geula HaAsina. Then the power was given also for the future redemption. So it started with Tzias Mitzrayim. Tzias Mitzrayim gave the koyach for the future redemption, for the Gulas. Mekiv on Shebishas Matan Torah Hoyo Kvar Me'ein Hagilu Dilosid Lovit. Essentially, that koyach for the Geula HaAsida was by Matan Torah, because Matan Torah, in a sense, was a small level of what's going to be the Geula HaAsida. That Bitl HaGzeira that took place by Matan Torah, and Matan Torah in general is the idea of real Chayrus, of the real freedom, real Yitzias Mitzrayim, and which will be revealed in the actual Geula HaAsida in the future redemption, but it already in a hidden way it took place by Matan Torah, or in a way that it comes Milumailo, it was by Matan Torah, and then it will be coming down also from the level of the Mata in La'osid Lavai, but therefore the fact that Mitzrayim is a preparation for Matan Torah, Yitzias Mitzrayim is a preparation for Matan Torah, it's also really essentially, in essence, a preparation for the Geula HaSida. Because Mikiv on Shebishas Matan Torah Hoye Kvar Me'ein Hagilui Dilosid Lovi. Since in the time of Yitzias Mitzrayim, Matan Torah, there was already somewhat of the revelation of the future to come. Elo Shebishas Matan Torah Hoye Hagilui Rak Lefisho. The time the Torah, Matan Torah was given, then there was just temporarily. It didn't last. It wasn't the future. Why? Because it came from above. The Yidden weren't Kalim yet, and it came from above, so it was there on a temporary way. But in the future to come, there will be the revelation in a constant and a eternal way. Always, it will just remain that way. Why? The revelation when in the future to come, it won't be just from the above, like a Mantera, Elagam, Mitzad Hamata, but also from the ones below. Because the created beings will be then at the total level. The created being will be refined, they will be elevated, they will reach the Gashmias, the physical, the created beings will be then the Tachlis, Habir Vazichuch, they will be totally sorted out, totally refined. The Yiyu Kalim, the Gila Lakus, they will be vessels for godliness, for the revelation of godliness. Not like by Matan Torah, which was given to them from above, but in the future, the Mata will be Nizdachach, so they will be Kalim for that Giloy. Lahasik Das Boiram Kifi Koyach. As the Rambam quoting from the Rambam, they will able to grasp the knowledge of their creator to the extent of the power of a person. That's going to be the bitter loss in love, and therefore it's going to be redemption in an oifen to be divinitzchi. And that becomes the complete place. The Eibishter can rest in a place which is Asar Shlim, which is a wholesome place, which means at that time, Losid Love, the Yidden, the created beings, will be Asar Shlim, they will be completed through the Birur V'Zichur on their level, La'asheros Oirin Sof Shalamayla Mekayach, for the resting of the Ein Sof, which is higher than the power of the person, because of their refinement, they will be able to get that also. But to a certain extent, just like Yitzias Mitzrayim started and prepared them for Matan Torah, and that's also prepared them for the Osid Lavai. But Matan Torah wasn't Mitzad the Mata, it was Mitzad Mailo, it didn't last. But Osid Lavai, when it's going to come because of the Mata, that's going to be permanent. So now we understand why it says Kime in a plural, because the idea is we're always reaching a higher level of Yitzias Mitzrayim, our refinement as we're growing from Matan Torah, constantly going up to a higher level. So we're always going out of Mitzrayim. Zehu gam kedalet. Masha kosu kimei says Meretz Mitzrayim. Yimei Loshen Rabbi. We're saying Yimei in a plural. The Chol HaYomim. Those old days. Yimei Geula HaRishona. From the days of the first redemption. Migolus Mitzrayim. From the exile of Egypt. Ad HaGeula HaAsida B'Meheda B'Yemeinu Amein. Till the future redemption, very speedily in our days, Amen. Hem Yimei Tzeischa Me'eretz Mitzrayim. They are days of going out of Egypt. As explained in the Maimer. So it's all the days are going up to become. Yes, we went out of Mitzrayim, but Mitzrayim was only Hachoneh that opened up. That was Machadish, but the actual redemption that we reach, we're always going out of Mitzrayim. I knew, and that is the Masha B'Tzias Mitzrayim Niftachat Sinner Gam Al Hagula Hasida. This that we're saying that Yitzias Mitzrayim opened the pipeline also for the future redemption. Haseder Bozehu. What's the order? How do we come to the Geula Hasida, to the Yitzias Mitzrayim, to the real Geula? From Yitzias Mitzrayim, Haseder Bozehu. So what's the order? How does this work? Shebachol Yom V'Yoyim, every day and day, Eis Yitzias Mitzrayim, Ad Geula Hasida, from the time of Exodus of Mitzrayim up till the future redemption. Nas Inyan Yitzias Mitzrayim. So it becomes going out of Egypt is always on a higher level. We're always going up, and the exodus of the limitations, we're going into a higher level to exiting even more limitations, the even further limitations, lesser limitations, but we're constantly going out of Mitzrayim. Till you come to the ultimate elevation, in the future redemption, then you will go out of all, there'll be no more limitations at all. The Rebbe is going to explain now more in detail how every day we have to go out of Mitzrayim. Like we mentioned Yitzias Mitzrayim every day, because on the spiritual level, we go out of Mitzrayim constantly. The idea is, our sages said that b'chol yom v'yom, that on every day, chayiv odom lireis es atzmoi ki ilu hu yotzo hayoim min Mitzrayim. As the Alter Rebbe adds the word hayoim, that on every day, a person needs to see as if he went out today from Mitzrayim. What does it mean that every day we go out of Mitzrayim? Every day, and Mitzrayim, there has to be the exodus of Mitzrayim. That's every day. Especially when you read the Shema, That is a time that you're going out of Mitzrayim. The Alter Rebbe writes in Tanya, the Bashe Tiknu Parshas Yitzias Mitzrayim B'Shas Krishma Davke. Why he explains why they instituted the Rabbanah, the Chachamim. They said that we should read the portion of the Yitzias Mitzrayim at the time when we read the Shema. We have the parsha by Yomer Hashem El Moshe Leimer Daber Oslam Tzitzis, and it talks about the Man Tiskiru Asiyim says Chomeres Mitzrayim Kol Yemei Chayecha. That's part of the. Well, what's the connection between Yitzias Mitzrayim and the time of Shema Davke? Because Mipnei Shehein Kriyas Shema v'Yitzias Mitzrayim Dover Echad, because the reading of the Shema is connecting you with Hashem Echad. That's going out of your limitation. That is Yitzias Mitzrayim. It's Dover Echad. It's really the same thing. That's the connection. When you read the Shema and you connect yourself with Hashem, you leave your limitations through you connecting to Hashem. That's Yitzias Mitzrayim. Dover Echad. And that's why you find Melee we have in the daytime, in the morning when we read the Shema. So, and you have the third portion, which is tzitzis. Tzitzis, you're only mechuyev in the day. You're not mechuyev at nighttime. Why would we read the parshas tzitzis, the third parsha, also on the night Shema? Why are we reading it then? So over there's no chiyuv of tzitzis. The only reason is because of Yitzias Mitzrayim that's in the Parshas Tzitzis. And that means that there's a connection between Yitzias Mitzrayim and the Shema, that there's the Saima, that's the idea. This idea that in the reading of the Shema there needs to be that service of going out of Egypt. That applies also to the reading of the Shema in the evening. We read that portion, Yitzias Mitzrayim, at the nighttime, the Parsha Tzitzis. Rambam, and as the Rambam writes, the Ma Shekoidim Parsha Tzitzis Gam B'Kriyas Shema Shel Arvis, the fact that we read the portion of Tzitzis also when we read the Shema in the evening. Af al pi she'ein mitzvahs Tzitzis naheges b'laylo, even though there's no tzitzis or mitzvah of tzitzis that applies at nighttime. So there's no reason to read it because of the Osulam tzitzis, because the portion of tzitzis. And the reason we read it then, says the Rambam, hu mipnei sheyesh bo zikaron Yitzias Mitzrayim, because it has the remembrance of Yitzias Mitzrayim in the parsha of tzitzis. So that's why we're reading it. And that means that there's a connection between that and the reading of the Shema. So Kimei says Meretz Mitzrayim, and this is Yimei, like the days you go to Mitzrayim. Yimei Loshen Rabim, Yimei in a plural. Av Sheyitzias Mitzrayim, even though the exodus of Egypt was only one day. So technically on the 15th day, Yom, they went out of Mitzrayim. No, but still, through the fact that every day we mention Yitzias Mitzrayim. The first time it was a one day, but we mention it every day. So that makes it into days of going out of Mitzrayim, because technically every day you go out of Mitzrayim. You may every day that we mention Yitzias Mitzrayim, we're going out of Mitzrayim. That makes it Yimei. It's not only one when it happened, but it's every day. Shebachol Yom v'Yom, every day. Yotzim Mimitzorim Ugvulim Mailim Yosef. Every day you go out from limitations, boundaries, and limitations that are greater from the day before, and you're going out of them as well. You put yourself in a condition of bursting out beyond any measure and limitation. Till you come, you'll burst out in the total, wholesome, in the fullest way, most complete way, in the true and complete redemption. That will be the Geula al Yidei Mashiach Tzidkenu, through our righteous Mashiach. So that will reach the real Ufaratzta, no more Mitzrayim. Allah hapoiretz lifneim. With regards to Mashiach, it says how Allah hapoiretz lifneim. That's referencing Mashiach, the one who burst out will go ahead of them. Zehu ma shemashiach hu ben David. This is also that Mashiach is the son of David. The Gam. See, the pasuk is, that's the pasuk in Micha. We say Mashiach ben David. So what's the connection with ben David? Because David comes from the Bnei Peretz, from Yehuda, the Maporatz Lecha Peretz. That's the connection why he's ben David. The Gam has Siman al Mashiach shu. Also, the signs of Mashiach that the Rambam says is that he will be studying Torah and occupying mitzvah like his father David. We're also connecting him to David. Why are we connecting, saying Mashiach ben David? Why are we connecting and saying that he learns Torah like his father David? And he wages war of Hashem. The explanation is that David b'nei Peretz, because David is from the Bnei Peretz. The Ksibe, with regards to Peretz, David is a descendant from Peretz. Like it says in the end of Rus over there, how the whole lineage comes from Yehuda and Peretz. Over there by Peretz, the pasuk says, Ma poratzto lachal Peretz. Why you burst out the Peretz. So Peretz is the idea of bursting out. That is breaking through all the boundaries, all the measures, and all the limitations. That is all going to take place by the Geula Hasidah. This is what makes that the final and the ultimate redemption. So the Rebbe explains here that the Yetzias Mitzrayim happens every day as we're going out to higher levels continuously until the Geula Hasidah. That will be the ultimate level, because then we'll burst out from all limitations, Mashiach ben David, and that's why you made Tzeitzcha every day that we mention Yetzias Mitzrayim. We're going out of the Didas Vagbolas, which is every day when we read the Shema and we say Leman Tiskar, we are connecting with Hashem, going out from more limitation. Let me see how much you have left. All right, we'll finish this on Sunday already. We can't do that. We'll finish Mitzvah Hashem on Sunday. Finish live. Okay, we'll leave it over here.
Okay.
And we'll be Mamshir. Okay, have a great Shabbos. Thank you.
Have a good day. Have a good Shabbos.